Hi everyone, it's Shannon and welcome to today's video. So today's video, very excited because I have two new products from Lawless Beauty. So the first is going to be their brand new foundation. This is the Forget the Filler. So it's kind of like Pillow Talk with Charlotte Tilbury. Forget the Filler is their like product that they love, and now everything's Forget the Filler, but it's the Forget the Filler Skin Plumping Line Smoothing Foundation. This is a full coverage foundation, and I never tried their other foundation. I don't even think I've ever tried their concealer. The only thing I had tried was their powder, which I like, and we'll talk about that in a second, but I never tried their foundation. So very excited because I'm a full coverage girly, so I do like this. Now the shade looks, I picked up the shade 4L, which is like a 4, it is light with neutral undertones. It might be a little too dark for me. It will definitely work when I have a spray tan, but it seems like it's a little dark. The 1, 2, and 3 were fair, and I'm not fair like as far as skin tone is concerned. Maybe my face is, but my body is, so I do like to match my body a little bit. But the 3 also was like warm, and usually warm is too warm, so I tend to go with neutral undertones. And the 1 and the 2 seemed like too light. So online, I'm kind of curious, but we'll see about this. And then the other thing is, it's the same product, it's the powder, but they came out with 3 brightening shades. So I got the shade Tutu, which here it is, it's a brightening shade. And the reason why I say this is the Perfecting powder. It is a skin smoothing powder, it's talc-free, and I have the light medium. So this is the light medium, and this is the brightening powder, so you can kind of see the difference here. And then here is just a swatches that I did in natural sunlight. Again, swatches, you know, with powder it's kind of hard, but I just kind of packed it up there. But you can see the Tutu has kind of got like a brightening effect. It's kind of like a pink, and it's described as a sheer soft brightening pink for fair to light skin tones. The next one, there's 3 shades. The medium one is like it's like light medium to medium, I think, and that one is yellow. And I never really like those, so I went with the brightening one, which I like because I don't like wearing the light medium under my eyes, so I'm really excited about this. I'll probably put a little bit this on today, but I'm not going to set my whole face with it because when it's a brightening powder, but I'll probably do the T-zone and then under my eyes. And I'll just wanted to show you that to you as well because it is, this powder is fantastic, and I love that they came out with 3 brightening shades. So the foundation is $43 and the powder is $39. Both are already available on Lawless and Sephora, as well as anywhere else Lawless is sold. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so let's read what it says about the foundation. It's a weightless, full coverage, non-acnegenic foundation that instantly blurs and smooths for a second skin finish, proven to reduce the look of fine lines and improve skin elasticity over time. This blurring, smoothing, skin-loving foundation is powered by Maxi-Youth, a bio-fermented hyaluronic acid complex clinically shown to visibly smooth texture and increase firmness. It has a natural second skin finish and provides up to 12 hours of wear. It's also dermatologist tested, non-comedogenic, non-acnegenic, and fragrance free. And then also all of Lawless products are vegan, gluten-free, and cruelty-free. So one, I like that it says it's 12 hours because I think 12 hours is a realistic time frame. When it says like 24, it's like you shouldn't be wearing your foundation for 24 hours. I don't think you should be looking for skincare, you know, ingredients from your foundations or from your makeup. If it offers it, great, but I'm not going to see the effects of that because I'm not going to be using it every day. So with that, I just want it to look good and last. That's what I'm looking for. So again, I got the shade 4L. It comes in 33 shades, breaks it up. I haven't seen many reviews on it, and I did watch one. She received a bunch, and she really had a hard, difficult time shade matching. So I'd be curious to go in, I'll try this on and see how it looks on me, but I'm curious to see if this will be my shade match, once I go into Sephora and see if I can and test it. But we'll see. Because 4 is usually like, I'm usually like that way. I'm not usually within the first 3 shades, especially when it's 33 shades, but we'll see. But I'm going to apply it first half of my face. I'm going to apply it with a brush first, see how it looks. That's not my preference of how to apply foundation. Usually I like to apply it with a sponge, which is what I'm going to do on this half of the face. I will probably go and even it out, so just kind of show you how it looks on each side, and then even it out with the sponge, you know, after I'm done, and then do a wear test for today. Probably 8 hours is what I'm thinking. I probably won't do a full 12 hours, but no, I just have moisturizer on, no primer, and I actually have nothing. I did put a little color corrector in my eyes because my eyes were a little dark this morning, but that's all I have so far. And then, yeah, we'll go from there. Okay, so I put my hair back a little bit, and I did want to show you, so it says it is a natural finish, so full coverage natural finish. So I'm curious, does that mean it's like matte or semi-matte? Like, kind of curious as far as, because I like matte, but kind of demi-matte, semi-matte, so natural kind of seems like it could be, you know, along matte lines. But let's go ahead and take a look at how thick it is, and it doesn't look like it's too thick, but that was probably more than I wanted to apply. But you can see it kind of holds its consistency. That's called viscosity. I learned that from Marlene Estelle. So there you go here. And what I'm gonna do is, again, like I mentioned, I'm gonna apply it this side of my face with a brush. I'm gonna use my Pinnacle foundation brush from Lawless Beauty. I love these brushes. I have a couple different foundation. Actually, match isn't too bad. It looks like it's probably a little dark, but only because I'm so fair right now. I've been sick, so I have pretty much been in bed a lot, but it's actually a really nice shade. And I think even with a spray tan, it will look good, but it's actually a pretty good shade match. Like if you look on my arm, my hand, it's definitely dark, but it's actually a much better shade match than I thought. So let's go ahead and smooth this out, and it's blending out really nicely too. And I usually do wear a primer, I just don't wear it when I do these videos because I want to see how it wears on its own. And then sometimes, you know, I also like to see, you know, which you're sometimes the primer might not agree with the foundation. So if you're wearing a primer and you do a wear test and it doesn't agree with it, it could be the combination, not necessarily the product. So just put a little bit more, and let me come back once I do half my face. Okay, so here it is with half my face. So it is a little dark, so I'll have to bring it down my neck because it is a little dark. However, I like the shade for me because this is kind of like the shade that I would normally be. Like I said, I am a little paler than I normally am right now, but I can just bring it down my neck. So I think this is probably I think the 3L or the 3F would have been too warm for me, but I'll check and see. But I think this is a good match for me. I actually like it with the brush too because of the thickness of it. It spread it out really nice. It also dries down really fast. So not like crazy fast like the Estee Lauder Double Wear, but it dries down really, really fast. With that said, it also feels super lightweight and feels like I don't need to set it with powder. Very few foundations feel like that. I always have the feeling like I need to set something with powder, but here's a little spot that I had and it is dried down, and you can see kind of how blurring that is. I'm really, really impressed with how this kind of like just blurred out my skin. I had a couple of blemishes around here. I don't even see them. Again, so far really impressed. Now I'm gonna apply it with the sponge. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I do have a little palette here that I'm using. But surprisingly, I do like some foundations with a brush. Usually I like it with a damp sponge, but you know, I did like it with the foundation. So here I'm gonna try it with the sponge and see how it applies. Okay, so here is the side with the sponge. I actually, looking at it up close, I actually like, shockingly, I like the side with the foundation brush better. I feel like it went on more even, and because the shade isn't the best match for me right now, I can see on this side it's a little splotchy where it's not on this side. So I can see right here it's splotchy with the makeup brush. Maybe that's because it's a damp sponge, I don't know. So I'm going to just kind of touch it up a little bit. Again, Shade is a little dark, so say that a couple times because people don't watch the whole video. Yes, I know it's not the best match for me. I am a little paler, and I can definitely tweak it too with some stuff, but I wanted to use the foundation as it is right now. But it's also not the worst match. I've had worse. Anyway, so let me go ahead and even this out with the foundation brush. But what I would say is probably what I'm thinking is that my preferred application will be with the foundation brush and then kind of go over in it with a damp sponge at the end. I don't know, but even with just the foundation brush, I thought it was a great application. Okay, so here is the foundation on my face, looking really beautiful. I'm going to put a little bit of concealer and come back and we'll talk about the powder. Okay, so I put my concealer on and now I'm going to just take a look. I'm not going to use the Lawless powder to set my powder because one, I don't really, not that I don't like it, but this isn't what I use to set my powder, especially when I'm testing something. I usually will use the Huda Beauty because it's what I always test. It's what I typically use, and it's my barometer as far as like checking because that's what I use for the most part. So this is something that the light medium is something I use on, I like using this kind of over like a tinted moisturizer. It gives me a little bit extra coverage and it sets it, stuff like that, or a SPF that has coverage or so it's a tint to it. That's what I like using this for. So I'm not going to use that today. Plus it's also a little dark for me, but I'm usually using that on vacation or when I have like color. So, but this is the 22 shade. I am going to use this though to set my under eyes because it is a very nice powder. The light medium though was always too dark, so I never used it. But I'm going to use this under my eyes, and I am using my my Charlotte Tilbury concealer, which is my favorite concealer. So this will give me to see, does this powder work great under the eyes? And it does. Now I haven't set the rest of my face, so I am going to look a little raccoony, but it does give a nice brightening effect to the eye. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna just kind of do the T-zone as well. Kind of do the T-zone because I do like using sometimes a brightening powder on the T-zone, kind of where the highlights are, but do that. But what I would say is if you want like a good, I like this. I didn't like the pressed powder from Huda Beauty, not as much as I didn't not like it. I liked it, but I didn't love it as much as I like this. But because it had a little bit of a radiance to it. So, and then I ended up just finding out that I just kind of use always this. I never use those. But this one I like because it is, it's matte. I already know I like the powder. So I am liking this. It's kind of like a nice tint to it. So I'm going to continue using this. This is, again, it's the Skin Smoothing Talc-Free Perfecting Powder. So I have the shades 22, which is the new one, and then the light mediums, which is light, medium to medium shades. Probably could do light right now, but it's one of those powders that I could do either or. And it's a talc-free ultra-weight powder. It smooths, blurs, and protects for a soft matte skin-like finish. And yeah, so it's soft matte, soft focus. You can use alone for a blurred flawless connection or on top of foundation to set. So I personally like using this kind of as a powder foundation, but over top of something that doesn't have a lot of coverage, maybe like an SPF. That's what I tend to use this for. So, but the under eye one, I could see using it and then using it as a powder to kind of like touch up during the day because it's a brightening powder, and I tend to only brighten like, powder under my eyes if I need to kind of get rid of the creases, or my T-zone, which is kind of brightening. So that I might like too. So kind of keep updated. It's a medium coverage, natural finish, and it's a great powder. And I'm really curious about the shade. So far I like it. Okay, so I'm going to do the rest of my makeup, come back and give you my initial thoughts before I do the wear test. Okay, so I put a little bit of makeup on. I did put some Lawless products on. Didn't have a blush that matched the eyeshadow palette I used. I used the little one, cute little 8-pan. And then I used the liner and the Forget the Filler gloss, no lipstick. So this is the definer liner, this is Cinnamon, and then this is the shade Nudie, I think, or Nude. So I used these two products, actually really like it together. This is kind of dark and this is kind of light, mix it together, really nice. So anyway, it's 10 a.m. now. I am going to just kind of check in, and I will check in at the end of the day. Okay, here is my foundation about an hour after I applied it. It looks just as I applied it. Here I am at the 3-hour mark. I actually thought it looked really good at this point. You know, it had really settled, but it didn't look dry or cakey, but the oils really hadn't come through either. And this is the 5-hour mark, and I'm starting to see a little bit of oils come through. Not a lot, but it was starting to come just on my cheeks near my nose. Still looked great though. And this is the 7-hour mark. This you can see, this was not in natural sunlight. You can see my texture. The oils had started to come through. This was about 45 minutes before I filmed the outro. Okay, so I am back. We are at the 8-hour mark, and my lipstick's all uneven because it's all come off. Anyway, so far I'm actually liking this foundation. I'm gonna say I don't love it, at least not yet. I loved it the first 4 hours. And when I did the first selfie outside in the natural sunlight, I was like, oh, wow, this looks really good. It looked beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Even my husband commented, he's like, oh, your makeup looks really good today. And I asked him, you know, kind of like what makeup? Like my eye makeup or my face makeup? And he's like, no, your face. And I explained, and because he kind of knows what I do sometimes. And he's like, yeah, no, it looks really, really good. And so, you know, I was really, really impressed with how good it looked. Now it started to break up on my nose. However, I'm sick. I've been like blowing my nose, and I've been really trying not to. So I really can't judge that. At least not right now, because it's not fair, because I'm literally like runny nose all the time. But like I have a couple, like, not blemishes, but I've been having some issues, and I have some bumps on my face, and they covered them up really well. You can kind of see the bumps, but I mean, they're bumps, they're there. Now I'm starting to get oily here in my, you know, kind of where I normally get, and definitely here, kind of start to see a little bit of breakup. But again, no primer, no setting spray. So as I get going, I think I might, you know, I want to play around with it. So, because I always wear primer, and I usually wear setting spray. So, but the first 4 hours, amazing. Like if I was going out to like a party or something for, you know, a few hours, or like an evening where I'm not going to be like an all day thing, this would look beautiful. Now, if it's something I need to wait to last, probably going to maybe wear a more long wearing foundation. But I still think it looks good. I don't think it's going to work for oily skin, because I have combination skin, but right now my skin is more on the dry side. It's still combination, and it's probably more normal, but it's definitely not oily at all. And I'm still having oils break through. So I think if you have an oily skin, it's probably not going to work for you unless you have like a mattifying primer. So I'm excited to continue to use it. It's $43, which some of these foundations, you know, I've gotten, I think $43 right now is actually a reasonably priced foundation. I forgot how much the Charlotte Tilbury is. It's around the $46 mark, which is my favorite. If you're new to my channel, that's my all-time favorite, like full cover. Actually, it's my all-time favorite foundation. The one size is one I've been using a lot too, which I think is great. So, but I'm excited to continue to use this. I actually liked the shade once I got it on my face, and kind of with the powder and everything, it was able to work. I just had to bring it down because like I said, I am a little bit paler right now, but once I have a spray tan, I think it's gonna work really well. So I really like it. I will say I really like it. First impressions are really good. If you're gonna get this, I would say get shade match though. Like go, if it's in store, if you're lucky enough to have at your Sephora, go get shade matched. And I would say err on the side of it being like you being lighter than you think, because 4L, I'm usually like kind of maybe like my instinct would have been to pick 6 or 7, and for me to get 4 is pretty low on the totem pole, I guess you could say. And I do think they lean a little bit more warmer than, like, it's a neutral shade, but to me it's definitely a little bit warm. So it's a neutral shade. So if you're like kind of lean warm, probably go with the neutral shade. So that's kind of a couple things, my instincts for it. But so far I really like it. It's good. Oh, and the powder I liked. For under the eyes, I really liked it. It's a brightening powder, so excited to continue trying that, especially in combination with the light medium powder. Definitely going to be continuing to use that. So all in all, both are really good. And one of the things I brought to this is, I forgot every time I use this. This is such a great little palette. I just love this little eyeshadow. It's a really great like everyday palette. It's got 6 mattes and 2 shimmers, but such a great little everyday palette. And I just loved how my eye look came out. Just kind of very basic, but still very pretty. So anyway, with that, if you like this video, click like, click and subscribe. That way you get a notification every time I post a new video. Bye everyone.